Can be a really stressful time for a coach. Cut down time. You got a lot of questions that you need answered, some new questions emerging. And oh, by the way, you got to open the season sooner rather than later. DeMeco Ryans has all of that. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans digital content. I'm Landry Locker. We're going to listen to what DeMeco Ryans had to say, had some interesting stuff to say about the offense, about Kamari Lassiter, about the shadows. A lot of stuff he got into. Before we do that, though, be sure to swarm the like button, subscribe, thumbs up, and ride along for the best Texans digital coverage in the country. It is time, though, to hear from the coach, DeMeco Ryans. Here was DeMeco Ryans with the media type, starting out talking about what stuck out with his team after you see him smile a little bit. Look how happy he is. Look how good he's feeling. We'll hear him talk about what stuck out from his team, but look at this smile.
Oh, man. Yeah, I got a good team right here. It's a good team.
Coach, after reviewing the film, what did you see from your team on Saturday?
After reviewing the film, the one thing that stuck out to me is just the energy from our entire team. Kind of mentioned it a little bit, but after the game, but to see the pure excitement and joy, guys having fun playing football, like that's what it's about, right? It felt special watching it on film. You see that connectedness, see our guys truly excited for each other. Like, I love that about our team. I love where we are right now as a team.
When you have a player like Kamari Lassiter, a rookie like that, you watch him and he's able to flush out his mistakes. Is that a sign of, just where he came from with the University of Georgia, how he's been coached in the past?
For Kamari, you can tell like he's built for this. Like, when it comes to the mental toughness piece that plays a lot into being a good football player at this level, you have to be mentally tough. You have to have that next play mentality. And, at Georgia, Kirby's done a great job. You can tell of raising them the right way, of having those guys. Kirby's done a great job with all of his guys, having those guys NFL ready to go. And that's one thing you see from Georgia, like year after year since he's been there, right? Those guys are plug and play type players, and it's a credit to him and his program and how they run things there. You get a Georgia guy, you're getting an NFL player.
Your first team offense, did you see what you wanted from them in the time they were on the field?
For our first team offense, I did. I saw some really bright spots, starting with the offensive line. I thought they did a really nice job of protecting. They were firm up front. They handled the edges well. And Titus and Blake did a good job on the edges, and we were firm on the interior. And also just the way we distributed the football, I wanted to see that, right? I wanted to see the ball in different places, different spots, and it was really cool for me to go back and watch and to see multiple guys touch the ball and be effective touching the ball. Nico, with the ball that he got, Tank had a nice one that was called back, but Diggs on the jet sweep and also the third down win. So Dalton, it was just multiple guys touching the ball. Can't forget Brevin making a really nice play to get a first down for us. It was just really cool to see, multiple guys, and I talk to the guys all the time about how many playmakers we have on the offensive side. So it's just cool to see, Bobby doing a great job with the staff of distributing it in a very good manner.
So, on the one play that got called back, play action to came down the sidelines, that kind of like deep outbreaking route, CJ able to fire it in there. That's obviously not an easy throw. A lot of quarterbacks can't make that. But when you have a guy that can make those type of throws, whether the pocket's muddy or not, consistently, what does that do for an offense?
And it looks easy to CJ. Some of the throws he makes, it looks easy. But I always try to show our guys like how impressive it is with some of the plays that he makes, and also how fine of a line, how close it has to be to make a play in this league. Like, it's tight coverage. Even the third down play to Diggs, they were playing tight man coverage. You got a plug player in the middle, but CJ held the plugger just long enough, right, to make a play. And it's plays like that to Tank on the sideline that I let guys know you can't get bored with seeing the good plays that CJ is able to make. Like, it's rare to see a young player make the plays that he makes, and he's doing a great job of getting better each and every day. And that's what I enjoy most about working with him, like his competitiveness, his will, his drive and desire to get better, and it shows up on game day.
Best throw he had.
Joint practice with the Rams. Is it one day? Is that what's going to be on Thursday?
Yeah, we'll have joint practice with the Rams one day.
And will you turn your
Check
ones
the
loose?
schedule,
You
Greg.
seemed to indicate that when we talked after the game. Will you have your ones against their ones? And do you have any hesitation doing that this late in camp?
Yeah, we'll compete versus the Rams. They're a good team, so we're excited about them coming in, and they'll give us some different looks, offensively and defensively, and that's what joint practice is about, right? Getting good competitive work in, guys who know how to work the right way. That's the main thing about it. Like, we're not coming out to have a shoving match or anything like that. We want to work against a really good football team, well-coached team that I respect what those guys have done since Sean has been there. So I'm excited to get to work with those guys.
By the way, right after the Rams practice, I'm going to go to the practice. I'll be right back here. We will live stream, and I will tell you everything that happened in that practice. So be sure to be subscribing, liking, riding along, swarming that like button. Back to Coach.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
What does a healthy Jimmy Ward do for you guys on defense? We saw it a little bit last year. There was some injuries. Obviously, see what he can do in San Francisco. What does a healthy Jimmy Ward allow you guys to do on defense that maybe you can't do when he's not on the field?
Yeah, Jimmy, he provides. First off, is the communication piece. He's a great communicator, and Jimmy is versatile. I always loved his versatility. He can come down and play man coverage. He can play in the deep half of the field, like making plays. Jimmy is a very versatile player. I think that opens up a variety of things that we can do defensively when it comes to game plan wise.
Kim's question: what did you make of first team rushing offense?
Jonathan wants to so bad ask about Dameon Pierce, but he's indirectly doing it. J.A. from the Houston Chronicle, he wants to so bad, but he just won't say it. What's wrong with Dameon Pierce?
It seemed like y'all got going in the second quarter to come further, but the first team kind of struggled. I think Dameon had 5 yards. What did you make of that?
There you go.
I know there's a lot of context in
there. There you go, J.A.
So.
Yeah, no, not sure how many rushes we had for our first unit. I know we had one outside zone play that we mistargeted a guy. We missed a guy, so a guy was free in the hole on one. And then another probably, missed a run where we could have been downhill. But, overall, I think just with our O-line, our tight ends, and how it's hard to judge off a couple runs. I think we threw the ball a lot with our first team, so there weren't really many runs to judge, and I don't want to judge our team off of 2 runs. That's unfair to, make a judgment off of 2 runs.
DeMeco, this is coming into your last preseason game and then getting ready to go to cut down. What are y'all looking at? What are some of the parameters, some of the benchmarks y'all going to be looking at with this last game and then coming to the final cut down and everything?
Coming into our last preseason game, it will be a really big opportunity for a lot. I always say young guys, but it's a lot of guys on our team who aren't just solidified ones on our team. So it's an opportunity for those guys, one last week to show the improvements that they made, to show that they belong, to show that they can help our team, be a successful team this year. So it's just one more look for guys. And, I think at this point we've seen what a lot of our guys can do. We've seen how they can help us. And I just want to see those guys, if they can take another jump, right? Can they take another jump? Can they correct the things that need to be corrected? And can the guys just go out and compete and play fast football for us?
The roof panel is obviously missing there. Did you notice it? Did it have any effects on the play or the playing conditions when you were out there on Saturday?
The roof panels those 2 roof panels are open, but I did not see it have an effect on any of the players. It didn't have an effect on the game at all. At times, right, if the sun wasn't shining, you didn't even notice it for a second, and the temperature or anything, you didn't feel any difference there. So it didn't have any effects on us.
Kind of seemed like it impacted the Giants.
A lot of people know that you and Matt call the defensive plays, but a lot of people don't see the work that Dino does with Derek and what he does with Kamari. Can you just talk about how he's been able to help Derek take that next step and how he's bringing Kamari along?
Dino has done a great job working with our corners, specifically working with Stingley and just training him on his technique, training him on just finishing every play and just instilling that confidence in him that when the ball goes up, like it's your ball, go make the play. And so it's a huge credit, hats off to Dino for the work that he's done. And I was blessed that Dino was here before I got here and just talking with him, understanding he's a good young football coach who has a bright future in this league. And he's done a really great job with the corners, working with those guys every single day. He's done a great job of leading that room. And you see the production from those guys. And that's a direct correlation to the work that Dino has done with those guys and how he has those guys prepared and ready to play.
So when you think about being at this point in a preseason for young guys who are, like you said, maybe not the ones, do you remember just the mental piece and what that's like navigating? How do you not press, overthink it? What can you say about that part of it?
Yeah, it's tough at this point in the league for all the guys, right? All the teams are in this same spot. And I tell our guys, you have to block out all of the noise, the external noise and unfortunately the internal noise where you may have some doubt or you're thinking, oh, are they keeping this many guys? It's like you have to block all those things out because you never know what can happen. And also at this point in time, if you don't make it, that doesn't mean that that's the end for you, right? There are a lot of guys who have had successful careers in this league who didn't get that first yes, right? It was a little journeyman to find their way, but they found their way and they made a career in the league. So it's just about how guys attack it, right? Attacking it the right way and just continuing to work on themselves and focus on getting better.
All right, there you go, DeMeco Ryans, smiling ear to ear. Be sure to swarm the like button. A couple of things that stuck out from DeMeco, the CJ Stroud thing. I mean, that's going to be the same thing he says about CJ Stroud from now till maybe a decade and a half. And it's only going to become more and more obvious. I thought it was a good question by DJ because I actually thought, and we said it on the post-game show, and if you didn't check that out, you can go back and check out the post-game show. Post-game show's right here in the locker room immediately after each game. But I thought it was really, really interesting that was the best throw that CJ made, and DeMeco kind of noticed it, even mentioned it when talking about CJ's performance. The Dameon Pierce thing is interesting. You heard him say, well, we can't completely judge the offense on those two runs. I doubt that he likes the blocking. It's just hard not to look at this. And I'm not DeMeco and I'm not Bobby Slowick. It's hard not to look at this and think Dameon Pierce just is struggling for whatever the hell the reason is. We're all trying to make sense of it, but it appears very, very clear. He talked about the shadow, said he didn't notice. I actually thought that if it was impacting anyone, it was the Giants in this situation. I think we could see that change, but I think he is correct. It didn't impact the Texans, but I do think it impacted the Giants. I think if Brian Dable were to, while sweating out 20 ounces, were to answer that question, I think Brian Dable would probably say that it impacted them a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how the cuts go. I don't think that when the final roster comes out, I think we're going to see a couple of guys brought in from outside of this squad, probably on defense specifically. I could see some depth guys being added, and Nick and DeMeco, they say they're always trying to make the team better. So I anticipate that that's going to be the case, which is unfortunate for some of these guys who beat out the competition in front of them, and then all of a sudden they're pushed to the side because other teams make moves, but that's why they get paid the big bucks. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Subscribe, thumbs up, ride along for the best Texans coverage in the country. And always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Rams joint practice Thursday, immediate live stream as soon as I get home. We're going to break that all down. That's going to be really, really fun. You know I love me a good joint practice. Might even ask Sean McVay a question or two about Cam Akers. Appreciate you for coming through. Thanks for
it's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Local